Guys, so today's video we're going to be talking about everything you need to do a Z20LET or a Z20LEH conversion to a Corsa C. So I'm going to show you everything you need to know and everything you need to be able to do that conversion. This is a conversion for doing the 5-speed gearbox, so the F23 gearbox. You can run an M32 6-speed gearbox out of an Astra VXR. But I've never fitted one, and I've never wanted to use a 6-speed box. So I'm going to show you how you do what you need for everything to do a Z20LET conversion into a Corsa C. So let's go to my unit now so I can show you all the bits you need to be able to do the conversion. Right, so the first thing you're going to need is obviously a Corsa. So what, you can probably pick one up non-runner, I don't know what, £500 probably. They're quite old cars now. If you have a 1.2 or a 1 litre, you can use the standard ECU and the keys and everything that comes with this car. All you got to do is get the ECU flash mat, with a Tech 2 or with some sort of Vauxhall software or something like that. This time I'm actually going to change the whole transponder, ECU and the chip and stuff in the key. So if you have a 1.4 or a 1.8, you're going to need to get the ECU, key and transponder, and obviously everything to make that ECU work with this engine. So subframe, so this is a standard 1.2 subframe. If you want, as you can see, there's no like mounting coming off it. I'll show a picture of a 1.3 diesel or a 1.7 diesel Corsa subframe. That's if you don't want to weld anything. You can weld to this subframe, not a problem. That's what I normally do. Normally just put the engine and everything in first, obviously with the mount on the gearbox and on the engine side, and then the back gearbox mount, so I know it's in the right place. And then I weld at the end a bracket, so then that bracket can bolt up to that mount at the front of the gearbox. Right, so I'm going to show you all the mounts you need to do this conversion. So you need obviously a Z20LET or a Z20LEH engine. I can't really show you mine as it's completely stripped at the moment, as I'm doing quite a big build on this. You need the F23 gearbox, which is the 5-speed box out of the GSI. You need the Z20LET drive shafts, both sides, or Z20LEH, depending if you're running the 6-speed or not. So if you want the speedo to work on this, you need to get a speedo ring on the passenger side drive shaft. So this ring is actually off a Calibra turbo. So loads of people sell these on eBay as a conversion rings and all this, and they charge like £60–70. These rings are £4. So I'll leave a part number on the screen so you can just copy it and paste it into eBay so you know what the part number is to get this ring. But if you want the ABS to work, you need to get the ring. If you have ABS, you need to put the ring on this side also, so it just needs cleaning down. So you can put, see, my other ring, that will go straight on. Obviously once the rust is all off and stuff, we'll go straight on there. Right, so moving on to what mounts you need. So if you've got a 1.2 or 1 litre, you would have at the rear gearbox mount, you would have this. So you've got your normal engine mount that bolts to the gearbox, and then this obviously goes to the subframe. If you want to run the standard 1.2 mount, you can run this bit, not a problem, but this bit will need to be changed to the 1.7 diesel. You can see how short it is. It's a lot shorter. So it's a 1.7 diesel mount. But if you want to run this, you need to get an adapter plate. So the adapter plate just spaces it out. As you can see, this has got the spacer plate, which I'll put a link to where I got this from. So this literally bolts to the gearbox, and then them two mounts. So like this, and then that bolts to there and that bolts to there, like so. So for the top of the gearbox, obviously there's 3 bolts here. You can either, so this mount's actually mullered, but you can either take the bolt out of the old gearbox mount, use this bit still, you need to use this still. So either get a new mount and put a poly bush insert, or you can fill it with resin or something like that to make it stronger, because this is going to be a lot heavier than the 1.2 engine, of course, and gearbox. So you can either buy this adapter that will bolt straight to the gearbox, or I'm going to show you a picture of, you can buy a 1.7 diesel adapter that bolts to here, and then you also need to change this bit to the 1.7 diesel. I don't think you can use a standard Corsa one. I'll show you some pictures of and the part numbers of what you need to do that. So you need, for the engine at the top, you need the standard engine mount, but on the driver's side you need to drill the hole bigger because it's slightly off. So you literally just need, this will line up perfect, and then you just literally just need to drill a hole a little bit bigger. But anyway, just so it fits straight in, it'll bolt straight up. You don't use this bit, so you can cut that off if you wanted and just belt sand it down so it's a lot smoother. This has already got the pulley bush insert already on it. So you can use the standard mount for the GSI or the VXR, not a problem. You also need either an Astra GSI gear shifter or a 1.7 diesel gear shifter and cable. So they're both the same. You either buy a GSI one, whichever comes cheapest, or a 1.7 diesel cable. And obviously this is the front mount for the gearbox. This bolts something like that at the front of the gearbox. If you've got a 1.4, 1.8 or something like that, you're going to need the ECU, the transponder, and then the little chip that you put inside the key for it to recognise, obviously, to make it start for the immobiliser and stuff. So the fuel return, the fuel lines is very easy. It's not as hard as you think it is. So where the fuel filter is on the 1.2, obviously if you've got a diesel, you're going to need to change the tank and everything, which is probably too much hassle in my opinion. So if I was you, just stick to a 1 litre or a 1.2. You've got a Y piece that's like an adapter where from the fuel tank, it clicks into a Y piece, and then that Y piece goes into the fuel filter, and the bit that's coming off the Y is actually the return. So all you've got to do is take that Y piece completely out, cut the return pipe, plug in the fuel filter back together, so then that cut fuel pipe's just sitting there, and then you literally run the return to that pipe, if that makes sense. So here's the manifold, right? So you've got your feed, which normally has this metal pipe on there. If you've got that, that's brilliant. So this one's already here, which is cool. Then you've got your return here. So you just get some copper pipe, you put that in there, Jubilee clip it, and then once you're close to joining it to that cut Y piece, and then you just put it straight into here. Right, to run these dry shafts, you need to change the hubs. I've been trying to find what car, because obviously a Corsa's 4 stud. You can run 5 stud if you want, but then it's just too much hassle for me. So if you want to run 4 stud, you need to buy an adapter, like a converted hub that will press into your bearing so you can run them dry shafts. So I'm yet to find out what car it actually comes off, because it's not like a custom made, it comes off another car, but I'm yet still trying to find because people want stupid money just for one hub. It's like £50 for one. So you're talking £100 just for 2 custom hubs, which isn't custom, it's off another car, but it's finding what car it's come off. So you got to find yourself a complete like conversion kit. So get yourself an engine, gearbox, drive shafts, all the radiator, all the standard intercooler. Like I've got my radiator pack there. Yeah, buy it as a whole complete bundle, because the radiator fits straight into the standard subframe of all subframes for the Corsa C. Fits straight in, no problems at all. Don't need to adjust nothing at all. The only thing you need to modify if you're running a front mount intercooler. So if you're running a front mount intercooler, you need to do some modification to make that fit. Forgot to mention, you're going to need the battery cables, right, that go to the battery, to the alternator and starter motor. You're actually going to need that. So you're going to have to take all this off and put it onto the Z20LET engine. So you don't run the standard Z20LET battery alternator starter motor loom. You use a standard Corsa one. The other thing I'd recommend is getting a rear axle from a 1.8 SRI, as that's disc. So obviously it's a lot more weight now, so you're going to want to try and stop the best you can. So say if you want to see my build, or if you want to see my previous build, obviously I'm doing a bit more talking and stuff now than before. It's kind of like a slideshow type thing. But if you want to see my old Corsa build, go check that out. If you want to see my current build that I'm trying to do, currently waiting on something to happen with eBay, because I got told that this engine had a stage 2 clutch. It didn't. I got told that this engine had a full rebuild. It didn't. The piston's mullered. So I'm just kind of trying to see what is going to happen. I don't want to start forging it and then they say, oh, okay, yeah, the guy wants to come collect it, which I highly doubt is going to collect, because the whole thing is completely stripped. And there's a little teaser for you. There's a manifold there, exhaust manifold. But yeah, so just kind of waiting to see what happens, I guess. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.